Hey folks, welcome back to another IMSA track guide. We are here at Spa with its rather enigmatically named corners, its high speed, and actually it's probably the off-track incident point capital of iRacing, full stop. We're going to have our work cut out. It's an hour race. It's what iRacing is calling an endurance race this week. So there's a bit more fuel to think about. There's a few more corners to get around, and tricky corners they are too. If you would like to give my BMW M8 GTE setup and ghost cars a whirl, check them out on the website, just popping up now. If you'd like to see some of my other track guides or some of my other races, you can find more in the corner there. If you like these videos, if they're useful, please do give us a subscription. Please do hit the little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I go live with a video or go live with a live stream. That's my schedule in the corner. That's UK times. So most weeknights. It changes sometimes. So follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep you up to date with the one I'm streaming if you'd like to come and watch. Lovely to see if you do. We are going to do our usual format, so we're going to do an in-car cockpit lap at full speed. Just get on with it and whip around a full lap so you can see it go. And then we're going to do it again, but we're going to go into chase cam, and we're going to stop every now and again, mostly at braking points, apexes, things to look out for on the track, where it's good to look ahead, like the turning point and things like that. So there's a good bit of that going on, and that's the size of it. I really do hope you find it useful. Let me know in the comments if it's helped you. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to make it better. But enjoy the guide. I hope you have a really good week here. Get some good results. Let us know how you get on, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. So that was my 2-minute 13.79. You'll notice by the green colour of the lap time in the corner that it's not my best overall lap ever. It was the best of that session. Did have a couple of slightly faster laps, but they were a bit messy. This was the cleanest and tidiest of them all. So we have already crossed the line. We are approaching turn 1, which is a really tight hairpin. Can get messy down here. We're looking to the markings on the road here, and at the end of this blob, we are going to start braking, and we're going to get ourselves down all the way down to first gear. And we want to leave the turn in a little bit late here. We want to apex slightly late into this tight corner, so that we can start our acceleration while we unravel the wheel, because if we put our foot down now, we're gonna be in trouble. We've got like 50% throttle. As we unravel the steering wheel, we're throttling up nice and gently. It's a downhill as well, so traction, you know, it's a little bit slippery, so we've got to be careful. We're going to fast forward now down the hill. We're all the way up into 6th. Our tyres are already nice and warm, so we're not going to be lifting here. Now we've started our turn in. We're looking right to the inside, and as we reach the end of this curbing on the inside, we want to start looking up towards the right. We want to start bringing it in nice and gently. Look how gentle my steering angle is there. We're keeping close to the curb, but we don't really want to ride the curb here. We're going to lose it. At this point, as we reach the end of the curbing, we're going to let the car straighten out, and we're heading to what looks like an instant slowdown. It's not. You can ride a lot of that curb. You'll be fine, and you're effectively straight lining a large part of that corner. It's a much quicker line through. I could have used more curb. I didn't. It's nice and safe and it's clean. So another long straight now, all the way up into 6th. We're getting nice and tight over to the left hand side of the track here, and we're going to start braking really heavily just as the curbing starts, and we're going to get ourselves down into 3rd. And we are going to look to turn in right towards the end of the curb here. And we're going to trail on those brakes, look to the inside. The apex is actually, you know, fairly far around the corner there. We're riding all the curb we can. And we don't want to exit too wide here because we're going straight into a left-hander. So we want to come out in the middle of the track, immediately start turning the car. And we're off the gas, just a little touch on the brakes just to keep it under control. Again, we don't want to exit too wide because we're going right back into another right-hander. So we're turning back out, and then we're starting our turn in. We're not going to brake here. What we're going to do is going to go down to 50% throttle. Make sure that we're going to hit this curb on the inside, and then just start gradually building that throttle up really, really steadily. If you look at the graph at the bottom of the screen there, it's a really steady build. You can use all of the inside green curbing there without having an off track. Now I take myself up to 5th here. You can stay in 4th, but I find using those 3 gear shifts, we're going down to 2nd, really helps us to bring the speed down using the engine braking. Now we're not doing a sort of wide entry here. We're doing a tight entry, and we're right down to 2nd. And we're continuing to trail those brakes a long way around the corner, and then we're building up really gently on the throttle. We don't want to come out super wide on the exit here because we've got another tight left-hander coming up really quite quickly, so we don't exit too wide. And we're turning over. We're going to ride a bit of curb here. Now we don't want to get too carried away on this curb because it can muck us up. But you see that little mark on the curb in front of us there? That is our turn-in indicator. So we're going to brush those brakes for a little brief period, and then we're going to gently build up. Once we know we're going to apex this cleanly, we're going to build up. It's very easy to pick off tracks around here on the apex and on the exit. So we're going to whiz up through the gears all the way up to 5th. We're staying on the right-hand side of the track. And we're going to get on this curb as soon as we can, and then as we go past this sort of red part of the fencing, we're going to brake. We're going to come down to 4th, and we're just going to have those brakes ride off until the end of the curb, bleed off really quickly as we go into the apex here, as we go in towards the curb I should say, and then we're back on the accelerator quite quickly, and we're just going to keep this turning angle. We're going to unwind the wheel slightly here, all the way up to 100% on the throttle, and then we are just going to keep a relatively gentle steering angle here. Get close to this curb. We don't really want to ride it particularly. You can, but it's, you know, it's better to just be near it. And then obviously we're going to use all the exit here. Don't go onto the red, sorry, the green, past the curb. You will get an off track there. So just before the curbing starts on the left, we're going to brake really heavily down into third gear, and we've got another sort of right, left, right coming up. Very curvy track here, so we want to apex quite late here, get on the curb. It's going to help us with our turn in a good bit. We're about 50% on the accelerator, and then we build it up, and then we just want to pop off the accelerator, maybe just dab the brake a bit, you know, you may not even need to, and then ride this curb round. Now you need to make sure you hit this apex because it's so easy to float wide here. Again, you can't really use the green curbing there, you will get an off track. Back over to the left really quickly. We're going to start braking just before, like a good 1.5 car lengths before the curbing starts, and then we're going to bleed off quite quickly. We want to apex really tight here and use the curb well. Back on the gas. Like, I'm already at 60% gas by the time I've touched the curb, and we're back out. Now you can use some of the green curbing on the left here. You can go further over than I am currently. But as we approach this green mark on the right hand side of the track here, we want to start looking at our turn in. Now, you can do this at 100% gas and you will gain a tenth, maybe 1.5 tenths. But it's so easy to fall foul here. Go wide, turn the car. If you look how gentle my steering angle is, that's because we've got our foot to the floor. And if we go too hard, we're going to oversteer drastically and spin the car. So it's better to lose that tenth, honestly, and keep the car on the track. Now, we're coming out quite wide here. We're looking ahead. There's a smudge on the track. We are going to, once we're a car clear of that, we're starting our turn in. Look at the steering angle. It's very, very light. If you go any more than that, again, you're going to lose control, probably oversteer. Very firm, very deliberate, very steady on the steering angle there. And then we're heading straight back over to the left hand side again for the slowest corner on the track, or corners I should say. So we've got another smudge on the track down here. We've got some dust and dirt inside the middle of that upside down V. We want to start our braking, and we're looking down ahead to the curbing on the left. About 2/3 of the way down, we're going to start bleeding off the brakes and turning at the same time. And what we want to do is try and late apex this initial right-hander. We don't want to have to brake again at this point, so we're going to throttle for a little while and then jump straight off it again, and then start turning really heavily so that we get lots of turn in here and we can start applying the gas. If anything, I would have liked to have been on the gas sooner, but I was carrying a lot of speed, and I knew I was going to overshoot if I throttled any sooner there. And then we're going to straight line it all the way to the start finish, and that's for 2 minutes 13.78. Relatively pleased with that. Like I say, I did have a couple of slightly faster laps. They were just untidy and not very crisp. This was the cleanest of the lot. I picked up a trillion off tracks. It's going to happen here. Take your time, enjoy it. It's a fab track. It's going to be a great racing this week. Good luck, all the best to you, and I'll see you next time.